Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're diving into something a little bit different and a whole lot creepier. We're talking about midnight frights. You know that feeling, right? It's 2 in the morning, the house is dead silent, and suddenly every creak of the floorboard sounds like a footstep. Your mind starts playing tricks on you, or maybe it isn't your mind at all. We are going to explore why the witching hour holds such power over our imagination and share some stories that might make you want to keep the lights on tonight. So grab a blanket, settle in, and let's get started. Let's start with the classic empty hallway phenomenon. Have you ever walked from your kitchen back to your bedroom in the dark and felt that sudden, irrational urge to run? It's like something is reaching out from the shadows just behind you. Psychologists say it's an evolutionary trait. Our brains are hardwired to fear what we can't see. But for some, that fear isn't just an instinct, it's a reaction to something very real. I remember hearing a story about a man who lived alone and started seeing a tall, dark figure standing at the end of his hallway every night at 12:03 a.m. He thought it was a shadow, until one night, the shadow stepped forward. Now, imagine you're sound asleep. The world is quiet until your phone starts buzzing on the nightstand. You check the caller ID, and it's an unknown number. Most of us would just ignore it, right? But what if the calls don't stop? There are countless reports of people receiving midnight calls where the person on the other end is simply breathing, or worse, repeating back things you said earlier that day in private. It's that invasion of privacy that really gets to you. The idea that someone or something has been watching you long before the sun went down. It makes you wonder how many eyes are actually on us when we think we're most alone. Mirrors are another big one for midnight frights. There's an old superstition that you should never look into a mirror in a dark room. People claim that the reflection you see might not actually be your own, or that the person in the glass might move just a second after you do. Think about that for a second. You go to the bathroom to get a glass of water. You glance up at the vanity, and for a split second, your reflection is still smiling, even though you've stopped. It's a glitch in reality that points to something much more sinister lurking just behind the silvered glass. Would you have the courage to look twice? Let's take a trip outside. The woods at night are a completely different world. During the day, they're peaceful, but at midnight, the trees seem to lean in closer. Have you ever been camping and heard a sound that didn't belong? Not a deer or a raccoon, but something heavy, bipedal, and rhythmic. Many hikers report the feeling of being escorted out of the forest by something they could never quite see. They hear the snapping of branches and the crunch of leaves keeping pace with their every step. It's a reminder that we are guests in the wild, and at night, the real owners of the woods come out to play. Basements and attics are the traditional heart of any good midnight fright. There's something about the extremes of a house, the very top and the very bottom, that seems to collect energy. Cold spots are a common report. You're walking down the basement stairs, and suddenly the temperature drops 20 degrees. You can see your breath in the air, even though the heater is running. Some say these are thin places, where the veil between our world and the next is at its weakest. You might hear a trunk dragging across the floorboards above you, or a faint whisper coming from behind the water heater. Usually it's just the house settling. Usually. Driving alone at night on a deserted highway is a unique kind of isolation. It's just you, your headlights, and miles of empty pavement. But then you see something in the distance, a hitchhiker standing perfectly still, or a car parked on the shoulder with no lights on. Your instinct tells you to keep driving, to not look back. But curiosity is a powerful thing. There are legends of phantom vehicles that follow you for miles, maintaining the exact same distance, only to vanish into thin air when you finally reach a well-lit gas station. The road is a lonely place, and at midnight, it can lead to places that aren't on any map. We also have to talk about the midnight visitor. This isn't a ghost or a monster, but the very human fear of a knock at the door when no one is expected. A knock that is slow, deliberate, and rhythmic. You look through the peephole and see nothing. But as soon as you turn away, the knocking starts again. It's a psychological game. Is it a prank? Or is it something trying to find an invitation inside? Many people who have experienced this say the air feels heavy, as if the person on the other side of the door isn't just a person, but a manifestation of something much darker, trying to get in. The abandoned places of the world truly come alive after dark. Old hospitals, shut-down factories, and crumbling mansions. They carry the weight of the history that happened within their walls. When you visit these places at midnight, you aren't just seeing ruins. You're feeling the echoes of the past. Time doesn't move linearly in these places, and for a few hours every night, the past and the present collide in a terrifying display of what used to be. As we wrap up our journey through the shadows, let's talk about the most common midnight fright. The feeling of being watched while you're in bed. You're tucked in, safe and warm, but there's a prickle on the back of your neck. You're convinced that if you open your eyes, you'll see someone standing in the corner of the room. Most of the time, it's just a pile of clothes on a chair looking like a person, but that initial jolt of adrenaline is real. It's our body telling us to stay alert. Whether these frights are products of our imagination or something more, they remind us that the world is a lot bigger and more mysterious than we realize. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on this trip through the darker side of midnight. I hope these stories gave you a few chills, in a good way, of course. There's something so fascinating about the things that scare us, and I love sharing these moments with you. If you have a midnight fright story of your own, please share it in the comments below. I read every single one of them, and I'd love to hear what keeps you up at night. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and maybe keep a small light on nearby. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates. Good night, everyone.